Rabbi, we'll start with you. Good evening and welcome.
Certainly.
I could speak to you on any number of counts this evening, but given the time and the fact that you've heard from physicians and lawyers, I think that I'm most value added to testify today as a member of a minority religious group here in Rhode Island. It's a voice that I think is very important for you to hear because I believe that this is quintessentially an issue of religious freedom. For those who don't know me, I am a rabbi at Temple Bethel, where I have served for 15 plus years. It's a Reform congregation serving 850 families in the Providence area. I'm also the president of the Board of Rabbis of Greater Rhode Island. That includes the vast majority of Rhode Island rabbis as members. As a rabbi, I'll be the first one to tell you that all life is indeed sacred in Judaism. However, while an unborn fetus is precious and to be protected, Judaism places a higher value on existing life than it does on potential life. The life and well-being of the mother are paramount. Women are commanded to care for their own health and well-being above all else. Due to the very mainstream Jewish view that the fetus is not yet a person and therefore has no rights, as well as to a long-standing Jewish insistence on the separation of church and religion in American, of church and state in American life, the vast majority of American movements, Reform, Reconstructionist, Conservative, and Modern Orthodox, are all on record opposing government regulation of abortion. The vast majority of Jewish thinkers agree that decision-making with respect to abortion must be left in the hands of women involved, her partner, her physician, and her rabbi. These are not choices that should be legislated. Senate Bill 152 sub A protects this freedom of religion by preventing one religious view from dictating the legislation for the entire population. I want to share words from my dear friend and colleague, Orthodox Rabbi Barry Dolinger, who is the vice president of the Board of Rabbis. He writes these words: Jewish law is clear that in cases of danger to the mother's life, abortion is not just permissible, but required. Since Jewish law considers abortion required in some cases and permissible in a host of others, restrictions on abortion limit members of the Jewish faith from following their religious rules in consultation with their rabbis. Moreover, in a pluralistic society, the mature response on questions of moral debate is not to legislate from one faith position, particularly the majoritarian one, in this case, the church. Clergy are welcome to advocate, convince, and persuade their parishioners to adopt their point of view on questions of moral debate. But pluralism dictates freedom of religion for all faiths and a broadly permissive view that preserves maximal freedom at the government level. This bill is, Senate Bill 152 sub A is pivotal to preserving this freedom of religion and allowing a woman to make vital healthcare decisions guided not by faith leaders of a religion that may not pertain to her beliefs, but by her doctor. Senator Metz a few moments ago shared some texts with us. Those texts are not read in the Jewish religion as pertaining to having anything to do with this conversation. I might say, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, it is the watchword of my faith. It has nothing to do with this freedom of choice and with this bill, and I believe it does not belong in this room at all. We must promote policies here in Rhode Island that
Senator
protect
Metz.
private...
Rabbi,
Yes.
Senator
I
Metz.
respectfully disagree. You just said freedom of religion, First Amendment rights. The First Amendment, the first thing it says is freedom of religion. So you're entitled to your religion, and I'm entitled to mine. Thank you.
And Senator Metz, that is actually exactly my point. I think that actually covers why it is so important to keep these rights available to women in Rhode Island. And I think you and I share a strong faith and have sat next to each other on a multiplicity of occasions in celebration of that, and I really respect that. I think your point is duly taken, that it's so important that we not impose our religious beliefs on a very spiritually diverse community, and that is really the foundation of our great state.
And I feel the same way.
Thank you. Senator Lombardi. Respectfully, Rabbi, I do take issue with your words. I think what you said is Senator Metz's words do not belong here. And I respect you and I respect Senator Metz, and I certainly think that his words belong here. All our words belong here.
All our words belong
Yeah.
here. I do believe in a strong separation of church and state, and I think the way one religious group reads that text is different than what another religious group reads it. And that, I think, furthers my point that, in fact, we are a diverse state and that we should not legislate in any other way.
We certainly are. A long time ago, about 10 years ago, I was involved in a historical monument at Cranston High School West. So I know exactly the debate we're having.
I remember,
But
yes.
certainly Senator Metz is entitled to his words here today.